Hey, my name is Sharam Namdarian, and I'm doing a handheld video because for some reason I've been having a lot of issues with my camera. If you do like these handheld videos, please let me know. I know I used to do one of these handheld videos a day and they were generally a lot easier for me to produce. If you do like these videos, let me know. I know some of you guys like the more high production videos. Some of you guys like the handheld ones. Through my own emotional healing journey with surrender, I've actually realized that I have a lot of issues. I have a lot of blockages around producing these videos that makes me not integrate them into my life, where it's a space and it's a time. Everything else in my life is very integrated. For example, I have a lot of hobbies that literally fill the gaps of everything else. My website, I have produced almost entirely in spare moments. And I find as someone heals, life becomes more integrated. There is less this than this. It somehow becomes this and this. So if you do like this video, basically this is a declaration from me that my videos to you are going to become more and more integrated into my life. They might be less high budget. Not that they were very high budget in the fucking first place, were they? But they'll become more and more integrated, and I might, dare I say, show more and more of my life. So this video was originally around the idea of becoming more social and bearing with social anxiety. And I still want to make this video, and I will make this video, and in fact, this will be this video. But yeah, that was the big announcement that I wanted to say, that I fucking am struggling with my cameras, and I'm fucking struggling with just making this a bit more integrated into my life. And yeah, so let's talk about becoming more socially. Let's get a little bit more comfortable. Hello. I'm currently in lockdown in Melbourne. Over the last 2 years, it has been, we've been almost 200 days in lockdown. The joke is, if you aren't in Melbourne, you'll know this joke. If you aren't in Melbourne, the joke is we have snap openings, not necessarily snap lockdowns. And the other joke is 14 days to flatten the curve, which has not been 14 days, it's been over 200 days. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the idea of how to shine socially. I'm also going to be talking about my own progress with healing my own social anxiety. And more often than not, to be honest, if there is something that really applies to you, please let me know in the comments. If you do like what I talk about in this video, if you aren't already a subscriber, please subscribe. Or if you want to, you know what I mean? I often think about that because a lot of YouTubers are like, hey, please subscribe. I used to be an Uber driver and I had a fucking great rating, not by asking everyone to give me a great rating, but just by connecting with them and just being a good driver. So I don't know, like when people like, hey, please subscribe, do you like, oh God, I gotta subscribe? Or does that actually put you off? Like, I don't know. I fucking need your help. Like, I want healing to be part of the new zeitgeist of the world. I want it to be the work before the work. And dare I say long-term, two things: clinical trials, and second thing, taught in schools. That's like stretch goals. Clinical trials is stretch goals. Also, I want to be in the future, more of a comedian, more of an actor. I want to write books, and I want to sell online courses as a core of my income, which, by the way, Healing the Blocks to Love, secretly now available on my website, www.sharamnamdarian.com. When you're learning to heal your social anxiety, honest to God, what it comes down to is very much the very basics, which is feel your anxiety. We're always on this channel, I'm always talking about the concept of emotional healing and emotional surrender. What does that come down to? That comes down to feeling, and it always will, which is feeling your shit. All right? So, and as always, this is the crash course in emotional healing, although I do have an online course, which is in the description, which is Introduction to Surrender, where I talk about this in great detail, so you can cram it in your brain. But generally speaking, emotions have a start and a finish, right? I've said this 1,000 times. I will always say this just as for people who are new to this channel and new to my work. Emotions have a start and a finish, which means Often we have to start them, we let ourselves fully feel them, and they will finish, they will end. And as a result, we learn something from them, we heal, we grow, we let it go, we hold on to it, we realize it's something we like, we realize it's something we hate. A really good example is once did a workshop on fear of abandonment, where I asked everyone to surrender and share if there was anything that came up for them. Someone said, I realize I hold on to I hold on to people, and by holding on to people, I actually stop new relationships from coming into my life. And the realization people have is always unique. My work as a life coach, my work as a dating coach, basically comes down to emotional healing. I almost do that exclusively now because all my work profoundly just works then. Because they manage to solve their own problems because the perspective in which they are viewing their problems is now gone. So when dealing with social anxiety and shining socially, which every time I've fucking recorded this video, I've always struggled with that phrase, comes down to that same factor. It is the decision to feel your emotions rather than fighting them. It's the decision to be one with your emotions and to actually emotionally surrender to how you feel. You don't have to surrender to life. You just got to surrender to how you fucking feel. That finally will let that cycle complete itself. So the rule with healing is always bad turns good, good turns great. Which means if you perceive that emotion of bad being, oh God, this feeling, how to put this into words, the feeling of this emotion, anxiety is bad, well, what's its next form? In my own life, when I've surrendered to the feeling of anxiety, for me, a lot of the things I've had is actually a feeling of excitement. That a lot of my anxiety in social situations was actually unprocessed excitement. Now, as I'm surrendering and processing, I'm much more social. I connect with people. I often talk about my relationship with my father, which is an example of my healing. Now, he, not me, I still love and hate him. That's tongue in cheek. I said that too much. I still love him and I still love hating him. I realized that, I almost manifested him in my life the way he is, as everyone sort of did. But weirdly enough, he now enjoys my company. Now, trigger warning, he's someone who my life has inspired so much self-harm, and through his intense, dare I say, narcissistic behaviors, was quick to blame everyone else. And as I healed this, I realized maybe I was just more inclined for that. But now I'm able to see him for who he is, and he is able to enjoy my company, which is fucking new. He's never done that, at least to this extent. And I can tell because he's smiling. But the social anxiety is often this. It's this intense, unprocessed emotion. It's an intense wealth of emotion that we haven't yet processed. And once we've done that, at the very least, even if you don't get any profound realization, even if you don't have this huge breakthrough, at the very fucking least, what is going to happen is you're at least just going to get more comfortable with anxiety. And imagine if you're in a situation where you're previously anxious and uncomfortable with being anxious, and now you're anxious but comfortable with that anxiety doesn't mean shit. And what do? You express yourself, or you are free not to express yourself. Because I don't know about you, sometimes when I'm anxious, I find more reasons to be anxious. That's why I have a rule. Do things from anxiety, create more anxiety. Do things from stress, create more stress. I once, with my early iterations of emotional healing, taught it to someone who then taught it to someone else. And I was like, shit, I was stressed. This shit is getting out. I need to buckle down and be the first one to officially do it. So what did I do? 2 a.m., stressed. Organized a social self-esteem event. What did I fucking do? Wrong week, wrong day, wrong time, wrong venue, everything wrong. Too early. Stress, 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 stress. Stress things create stress results. And is that bad? Fucking no. Because can you handle that stress? How do you handle higher levels of stress that you are not used to? Fucking surrender. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Always surrender to how it feels. You can do this all the time, non-stop, for free. Jerks be like, people don't value it if people don't pay for it. To me, that's bullshit. I had to figure this out on my own for free. Now, sure, I charge for my time. I'm still working on that. I struggle with charging. It's probably why I give so much for free to overcompensate. People value things financially that you charge for them. I know this because there are some of you guys who I've personally spoken to and worked with, and it was just a free session back in the day when I was doing more free sessions, and I'd never seen someone value it more than you guys. So you can do this right now, all the time, for free. Might not make sense. If it does not make sense, surrender to the feeling that it does not make sense. But the process is always the fucking same. Heal through feel. The best way to heal is to feel. Once things are felt, you are literally set free from that emotion. It will never have the same magnitude on you again. I personally am someone who is quite incapable. I'm very good at not doing this, asking for help. I am notoriously horrible at this. Even now to the point that if I'm in pain, I will grit and bear it rather than getting Panadol. This year, I have noticed that I am now capable of asking for help. Why? Because I surrender to the pain. I realize that, what am I doing? I realize the extent that the pain exists. I went to the doctor today to remove a splinter, deep splinter, under my nail. Ow! Painful as balls. And I was capable of doing that. And I was also capable of saying there is a particular doctor I would prefer not to work with because I feel, I'm not gonna say anything more, but it just didn't align. When I was with that doctor, I surrendered to how I felt. I'm like, this is not how I want to feel. Instead, I find a doctor who is more aligned, who laughs with me, that I love, and pulls out the splinter very quickly. And yeah, so the social anxiety can come down to a lot of things. Some people might feel anxious because they think they feel ugly. Some people might feel anxious because they think they won't be liked. Some people might feel anxious because they think they're going to be silly or seen as silly. And it's like feeling those things, you might realize, hey, wait a second. It doesn't matter if I'm not liked. It doesn't matter if I'm fucking silly. It doesn't matter all these situations. Maybe those things about me were the very things that made me special. And by trying to mitigate those things, that person or those people that I tried to speak to never truly loved me in the fucking first place. Because I pretended to be someone else. And I find that interesting. Because as you shed the layers of who and what you think you should be, as you shed the layers of this anxiety, you are presenting yourself more in the world, more of who and what you are truly are, and people will love you for it. Why? Because you are and were and will always be worthy of love for who you are right now, who you were, and who you were meant to be. People struggle to love you and they struggle to like you when your personality is filtered through the pain of your self-oppression, your own internal blockages presenting itself and made manifest. They feel that as well as feeling you. They see the disconnect. And more often than not, when people ghost you or leave you, it can be from a lack of alignment. It can be from something you did wrong. Or a lot of the time, it's just because they realize that you just weren't ready yet to talk to them, to connect with them, to love them in the way that they love you or loved you or would have liked to. So there is a lot to this. But the message, these messages that I send out to you, that you watch all to this way, and if you say watch, I say hello and thank you. The fact that you watch this shit all to this way means a lot to me. I have a lot of blockages around this. I think the content I produce is silly sometimes, and maybe it should be. I think I'm too serious, ironically. Maybe I gotta be. I think it's too impersonal. Maybe it should be. But I'm here connecting with you now. And I'm making a vow to be more personal in these videos. So thank you so much for watching. Mwah. Guess what? Coming out soon is my online course, Healing the Blocks to Love, where I specifically take you on a journey to healing those blocks to love. In this course, I'm also learning to heal my blocks to selling. I want to be better at selling. But in this course, I actually take you on a healing journey of healing some of the major blockages to love. I personally took it myself. I ran through the course myself. It put me in a healing trance, and I can immediately see the results in some of my relationships. So thank you so much for watching. That's coming out soon. Bye.